Hello, welcome to Christchurch, Port Sunlight for another of our Organs of Wirral series. We've got a very special show today, not just because we're in this wonderfully expansive church with this magnificent organ, but we've got a special guest joining us, but more of that later. Port Sunlight Village was built and designed by William Lever of Sunlight soap fame, and really it was a model village built for the workers in his factory. This church opened for worship in 1904, and Lever wanted to make sure that there was always a welcome for Christians of whatever tradition, and that still stands today. The organ was also built in 1904 by the firm Henry Willis & Sons, probably the greatest name in British organ building. It has 4 manuals and 41 speaking stops. At that time, Henry Willis too was in charge of the firm, and organs built during his reign are often called Latin plate organs because on the console there is an engraved plate with a Latin inscription, per ores ad animam, through the ears to the soul. The piece I've just played is by the great composer Johann Sebastian Bach. It's a chorale prelude, Wer nur den lieben Gott lässt walten. Bach takes a hymn tune, which would have been very well known to the congregations of 1714. He extends the rhythm somewhat and then creates a rather energetic accompaniment. I played it on the full plenum, so no reeds, but the full chorus with the magnificent pedal ophicleide reed. Pipe organs are so flexible musically. They can suit virtually any musical genre in the right hands. And I thought it would be interesting to show that flexibility. So our special guest today is Dave Nicholas. Dave has been the resident cinema organist at Liverpool's Philharmonic Hall for 35 years. Dave, the experience of going to the cinema these days is very different from when you started.
Oh yeah.
But cinema has always been at the heart of Liverpool Philharmonic Hall, hasn't it? And they still continue to show films.
That's
and you
right.
play the organ for the films.
Yes.
What sort of things do you do?
Well, it's a varied selection of music. You know, you can play like hors d'oeuvres, or the South Rampart Parade, or music from the shows, Desert Song, Rosemary, etc., that sort of thing.
And this is before this film starts, while the audience are coming in?
Yeah.
Could you play us something that you might play at the start of a film?
Yeah, would you like a march?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, a few bars of a march, okay.
That's great. That's great.
Right.
I bet that goes down really well with the audience.
Yeah.
They really enjoy it.
Yeah.
church and cinema organs are very similar in lots of ways, aren't they? We've
Yes.
got the same keyboards and stops and pipes.
Yes, exactly right.
But the way we play them is quite different, isn't it?
Yes.
So what sort of things might you do on the cinema organ that would be different to how I might play for a service?
Well, I could just explain, like to play See You in My Dreams, for argument's sake, with one hand, you know, like this. You see, so you got the one tune with one hand, okay? So we do Over the Rainbow and You Belong to Me with that hand, okay? There we go. Or Tales from Vienna Woods and Fascination.
That's great.
Right.
And there are lots of effects that you can create on with the different sounds, aren't there?
Oh yeah, well of course the police sound, because of course the laughter. And then you want the dog bark, for instance. Dog bark.
Hours of fun with those sorts of things, can't you?
Yeah, yeah, oh yes. Well, actually, when I was at Scarborough, I played on the P-Zone Park there, and of course, big crowds, and there's a dog barking, and I did the dog bark on the organ, I had a conversation with him. So, it's good fun.
So you spent a long time at Butlins, Dave.
Yes, I was
what did
11
you do
years
there?
in total. Started at Skegness in '61, and then the Blackpool Metropole there, and of course that was where I did the North Sea gas gig, of course. And where the organ was running on North Sea gas, I told them that the tide went out, you could go out of tune, and we keep the tempo going for dancing, you see. And I used to do this sort of thing, yeah. You see, and of course, then you could put down complaints in the office. Good fun, yeah.
You must have had to play the same thing over and over
Oh,
again.
yes, yes.
How did you stop yourself going bored?
Well, I started doing crossword puzzles. Because they were singing, you see, the Redcoats, and I was just fiddling behind. And then, of course, one day I started drawing pictures, which I've done on previous occasions. That's a lot of fun, you know. It's and of course, the church and voicing, of course, is different to theatre organ. The churches, the bass sound is diapason, whereas on the theatre organ it's a flute sound. There's more tremulance, of course.
Yes, the tremulants are a big factor, aren't they?
Oh yes. Well, of course, it was to simulate the orchestras. That was the idea of the. Because they have music all day long. Obviously, one set of musicians couldn't do that. So you alternated, you know, that's where the organ was used, and then you all play certain parts. I mean, the Roxy in New York had 3 organists and 115 in the orchestra. You know, so it's amazing. And of course, it all went with the talkie films when the talkie films came. See? Yeah.
This organ's got a particularly fine vox humana and the tremulant upon the solo.
Yes.
What does that sound like?
Yeah, well, there was an organist called Jesse Crawford, and he used to do roll chords, and it sounded this sort of fashion. Give this sort of rolling effect. And I believe how he did that, he was singing with a quartet, and of course they did the gliding, and he followed them, and that's how it started.
Great.
Yeah.
So there we have it, one instrument capable of many different styles of playing, especially in the hands of someone like Dave Nicholas. We've got plenty of other organ videos online and more to come. You might say we're being very organised.